What's up, Ada Nation? Welcome to Dapp Central, your home for everything blockchain and crypto. My name's Fareed. As a part of today's video, we're diving into the latest updates for Cardano and all the builders here in the growing ecosystem. First things first, I want to highlight the weekly Cardano development report. I also want to bring to your attention a couple of explainer videos that have just been released by IOG, talking and highlighting throughput, scalability, and just improving the overall blockchain ecosystem. Second, we've got some pretty big drama here with the fallout of one of the bigger NFT projects in the ecosystem, Yummi Universe. This is on the back of the Ape Society announcing that they're leaving for Base, which obviously has set a pretty bad precedence right now in the NFT space. So I want to talk a little bit more about that, exactly what's happened and what could potentially happen moving forward. Third, I want to talk about Minswap. We now have the official launch of their beta. I've gotten exclusive access, so I want to give you guys a brief teaser, but I also want to go ahead and highlight their bug bounty program, as well as an interesting catalyst proposal aiming to better, I should say, the DeFi and crypto space. Following that, I want to briefly talk about SNEK. They're on a roll right now, trying to be one of the first ever Cardano native assets to be listed on Binance. So I want to talk about that and their ongoing trading competition. And then last but not least, I want to highlight Odysee, a platform for decentralized content creation, very similar to something like YouTube, which could potentially be using Cardano tech in order to house all of its infrastructure. As always, if it's your first time stopping by, my goal is to help you find your way around the growing Cardano ecosystem. Here on the channel, I provide the latest news updates. I also go ahead and provide reviews and tutorials, as well as interviews. And if you enjoy and appreciate that type of content, I would appreciate you if you could smash that thumbs up. If it's your first time stopping by, consider subscribing. And if you want to share your opinion, then make sure to leave a comment down below. If you'd like to take your support a step further, consider delegating with the official Dapp Central stake pool, which is stake pool ticker DAPP. Right now, you'll be earning your traditional ADA rewards, which you can claim at any time, but you'll also be earning the Matera utility token, the Tokyo token, as well as the Sarah token once those ISPOs conclude. Moving right on into today's update, let's jump into the first topic, which is the weekly Cardano development report. So everything in terms of statistics on the right-hand side appear to remain pretty stagnant. We do have one additional project being added to the projects building on Cardano, with the 171 projects currently launched and on the mainnet. Looking on the left-hand side there, we've got some updates to the UTXO mempool benchmarks. We've got a new Mithril Protocol Insights dashboard being released. I'm going to have to track that down and see if I can actually show you guys that for one of these future news updates. And then we've got some more testing and refinement ongoing for governance in SIP number 1694. Again, this is going to be a huge piece here. There's going to be two portions of chain, one introducing or turning on the DREP functionality, and then one actually kicking things off, allowing for the Cardano community to be fully in charge of the direction and just the implementation of updates on the ecosystem or on the network. Following that, we've got updates for Project Catalyst funding round number 12, where the review stage has officially begun. So at this point, all these submissions are officially in. Once the reviews are done, they'll be going out to the Cardano community. And if you hold ADA, you'll be able to vote for any project that you want to support. Last but not least, we've got lecture preparations for the upcoming Cardano developer course. Okay, moving over, I want to quickly highlight a couple of updates here when it comes to IOG and some of their research or their peer reviewed approach research, which has now been officially released. So we've got a brand new paper. Now this was released, I want to say back in April, touching on high throughput blockchain consensus under realistic network assumptions. Again, this is quite lengthy here, very formal documentation or paper, which I'll leave the link to down below if you guys want to go ahead and take a look at it in its entirety. But let's just quickly skim through this just to give you guys an idea. So let's see here. I mean, taking a look at this, this is extremely thorough, breaking down all of the calculations, assumptions, and then they've also even got all of the references that they're relying on in order to come to their conclusions. Now, in addition, we have seen two brand new YouTube videos being uploaded to the official IOG YouTube channel, one dealing with scaling and blockchain protocols, and then one dealing with Ouroboros Laos. So this should improve the scalability and throughput on Cardano. And in a nutshell, if I'm not mistaken, this will be breaking down or separating how blocks are minted, and then how transactions are actually recorded. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of digging around to better understand this before I release any sort of dedicated content, but I wanted to quickly highlight some of these updates here. Next, we've got some drama going down with the official Yummi Universe NFT. So an NFT collection, which is basically considered an OG, has officially rugged. And I want to break some of this down. There's a little bit of speculation that this was sort of written on the walls, and this has appeared to have caught at least the majority of the Cardano community off guard. Now here we've got just one of the NFTs just so you guys can see, or so I can showcase some of the artwork here. But a couple of hours earlier today, we got this tweet from the official Yummi Universe Twitter handle. With a heavy heart, we regret to inform the Yummi Universe community that we are unable to continue moving forward with the project due to the actions of Nick Jorns, also known as Supfrost. Now it states here what happened. Nick Jorns, again, Supfrost, who has been with Yummi Universe for approximately 2.5 years, recently took over as CEO. During this transition, he gained full access to all Yummi Universe resources. Now, before I continue, I don't think that that should have been the case. But of course, again, I'm not running it. And if he's a CEO, ultimately what he has in terms of the last say probably goes. Now, subsequently, he transferred all the funds from the card pack sales, which was recently just finished, into his personal wallet and has since disappeared without a trace, leaving the crypto project without a dime for further development. Of course, again, this is not what we want to see. I just mentioned the fact that we had the Ape Society leaving the Cardano ecosystem not too long ago. I released a full dedicated video breaking down the fact that they basically said Cardano wasn't developing at the pace that they wanted to, and they also wanted to try something out, or try something else, in Base, in the fact that it's got a bigger user base, and it's also obviously tied back to Coinbase, in the fact that Coinbase is aiming to onboard 100 million users over the course of the next years. So we've already sort of had a little bit of drama in the NFT space, but then to see this also happen really leaves a bad taste in my mouth, and I'm sure also everybody else's who's involved with Yummi Universe. Now, what's interesting is that digging through some of the comments following this particular post, we have Mimic Kiyun, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, where he states in response to that announcement, "This rug was completely planned. 3 months ago, I had this chat, warned my friends about the potential rug." Again, I'm not going to sit here and read every bit here, but we have an intern and we have DJ Zero Action who are basically going back and forth. And in a nutshell, DJ Zero Action is telling Mimikyun here that the team has no funds to continue developing the project. And what they're going to be releasing are videos, but there's actually no working product underneath that content. So he's assuming, right, or he's basically asserting that this last card sale was basically a money grab in anticipation of actual rugging. If that's the case, this is extremely terrible, meaning that over the course of the past couple of months, this was something that was planned. And if so, it seems like at least more than just the Supfrost CEO were actually aware of what was going to happen. So why nobody sounded the alarm or why nobody became a whistleblower, we haven't figured it out yet. But that's all assuming that this is in fact something that was planned for a couple of months. So again, not something that I typically cover, but it is something that I personally believe is of importance. Of course, thoughts go out to any Yummi Universe holders. And to sort of add salt to the injury here, we did see some pretty big sales taking place before this announcement came out. So did somebody have insider information knowing to sell their NFTs before the official release of the announcement? That appears to be the case. And we actually did see something very similar when it came to the Ape Society and them also having pretty big sales right before their announcement about moving to Base. Next, let's quickly jump into some updates surrounding the Minswap protocol. So earlier today, I was lucky enough to receive one of the emails here breaking down the fact that I have been selected to join Minswap V2 for their beta testnet. Now, the applications were open for about 4 to 5 days, and I believe at this point that they are now closed. Now, I'm going to have more content breaking down, the entire process. But for now, I want to give you guys just a brief look at what V2 looks like. And do keep in mind that they have added security features here. So unless you have an access code, you cannot get access to V2. So at the top right, you can quickly connect your wallet. We've then got a traditional swap page here. They do have the Pro and the basic versions, just like in the current V1. And then at the very bottom here, we've got some stats surrounding the platform. You can go ahead and see the markets. You've got the ability to farm, stake, and also provide or remove liquidity as you see fit. And then we've got a list of some of the brand new features that'll be coming along with Minswap V2. So again, this is just a very, very nice tease, but do stay tuned for a more in-depth video breaking down my experience with V2. Moving over, we have the official Minswap Bug Bounty program kicking off, rewarding the community with 99,000 ADA. So right now that's equivalent to about 40 to 45,000 US dollars. And this is basically up for grabs for anybody who's able to identify bugs or issues within the Minswap V2 code. So the team has been nice enough to provide a fully dedicated video breaking down all of the requirements. So they touch on the eligibility requirements, making sure that you're not reporting something that's already been reported, making sure that you're not actually taking advantage of the issue before reporting it, making a good faith effort to avoid privacy violations, etc. And then they also talk about classifying vulnerability. So depending on the type of vulnerability that you find, you'll be rewarded a different amount, where it states here that they're looking for anything respective to theft of user funds, unauthorized minting of protocol NFTs or LP tokens, permanent freezing of funds, or anything that could potentially cause protocol insolvency. Again, they break down the rewards for different types of attacks and different types of exploits. Moving over, we do have the monthly data or the monthly stats being released for the Minswap protocol here. The TVL has increased by 6%. Trading volume is down by 13%. And active wallets down by nearly 20%. Top traded tokens, SNEK. I actually have an update about them in just a minute here. We've got AGIX, which has been leading the AI narrative. There is an upcoming merger between the AGIX network. I believe it's Fetch and then Ocean Protocol. And then we've got Nuvola, which has been making a lot of noise here in the ecosystem. I'll be sitting down with Raul de Benedettis in a couple of days to talk about some of their latest announcements with some pretty big surprises coming down. Now we also have World Mobile, which has basically been hyping up the entire month of June. I'm excited to hear more about what's going to be announced in terms of partnerships for that particular protocol. Last but not least, we've got IUSD. And then at the very bottom here, we can see the total amount of mint stake, daily ADA rewards, circulating supply, and unique stakers. Moving along in closing of updates here for Minswap, I want to quickly highlight a Catalyst proposal for funding round number 12 in tandem with the on-chain bridge. So this is based on how to grow DeFi on Cardano. As many of you know, a lot of Cardano wallets currently holding ADA, but not necessarily using it in DeFi other than just staking it. So as a part of this proposal here, they have 3 separate suggestions. One is dealing with trading volume incentives, where they'll be rewarding users with points depending on how much trading volume they generate. This actually reminds me of what the Genius Yield team has already done with their accelerated yield program. So depending on how much trading volume you generate on the Genius Yield DEX, in addition to staking the Gens token, you'll be rewarded different amounts every couple of days or every week, I believe. So that has actually boosted the amount of trading volume taking place on the Genius Yield DEX, and it looks like Minswap could potentially be doing the same thing. Number 2, we've got liquidity provision incentives. So right now, you're able to provide liquidity into a particular liquidity pool. For example, let's say ADA/min, and in return, you'll earn the min token, and there's always additional rewards as well. Now we've seen all the way up to triple farms on the Minswap DEX, meaning that you're rewarded in up to 3 separate tokens. And as a part of this particular proposal, they're looking to boost this particular feature up, providing even more of an incentive for users to provide their tokens that they might just be holding into liquidity pools in order to earn even more and in order to also earn passively. Now, do keep in mind that there are impermanent loss risks associated with LP tokens or providing liquidity. So do keep that in mind. But then there's also the stable swap pools as well, which do mitigate impermanent loss. So different options here to look at when it comes to different types of incentives. Last but not least, we've got a bridging incentive section here, highlighting the fact that within Avalanche, where there's a program very similar to Catalyst, we saw a team basically providing incentives for bridging assets through their bridge. Of course, OneChain is a bridging provider. So imagine being able to add incentives for people to bridge using OneChain, but then also deposit or provide liquidity directly into the Minswap protocol, therefore boosting just the overall engagement and the overall user activity here in Cardano. So one to definitely keep in mind when it comes to Catalyst. That will do it there for updates surrounding the Minswap protocol. As always, if you guys do enjoy updates like these, I would appreciate you if you could smash that thumbs up. If it's your first time stopping by and you want more content like this, breaking down everything in Cardano, consider subscribing. And last but not least, if you have any questions, then leave them down below. As I mentioned earlier, if you want to show your support, consider delegating with the official Dapp Central stake pool. Next, we're going to talk a little bit more about SNEK. So SNEK is always on a roll, one of the most engaged communities here in Cardano and one of the most active trading communities here. I believe SNEK is the top traded asset on Cardano, period, right? So really good to see that this team continues to grow, in that thick or thin, they're always so tight. Again, one thing I really admire about the SNEK community. Now, they've recently onboarded Max Maher as a SNEK ambassador. He's a finance content creator. He's also dabbled a little bit into crypto, but he really came to fame during the COVID and the stimulus check era, right? So keep that in mind. But he's highlighting here the fact that somebody's created a petition in order to list SNEK on Binance. Now, he's left a link to it there. I'll leave the link to it down below. As you can see here, we've just made over the 50% mark, with about 2,300 signatures left to reach that 5,000 mark. Now, in addition to that, until SNEK is listed on Binance, we have Fidgety Beast, a pretty big member within the SNEK community, holding a Twitter space until that day happens. Right now, he's on day number 6. So congrats to Fidgety Beast. He's been streaming on X, or hosting a Twitter space on X, for over 155 hours straight. That is crazy. Talk about some dedication. Again, really showing how hard the SNEK community is and how hard they go when it comes to things like this. They're definitely not taking that lightly. Next, we've got a piece here surrounding the SNEK trading competition. So if you're within the SNEK community, again, their goal is to be listed on tier 1 exchanges. And by showing higher trading volumes, that therefore in turn allows for the lister, for example, like Binance, to justify listing a Cardano native asset. So it reads here, SNEK's top priority is to get listed on tier 1 exchanges, which requires boosting trading volume both on-chain and off-chain. In May of 2024, 65% of the total DEX trading volume was generated by just 100 wallets. This tells me that we don't have enough trading going on in Cardano, and that we typically tend to see a rotation of liquidity between different assets. So that's why you'll notice that different assets pump at different times. It's probably because we have a lot of the same traders jumping from assets to assets, looking to get the best gains. And as they profit, they cycle those out of one asset and begin to trade those or invest those in another. Now, this breaks down the fact that the team will be providing a base amount of at least 10 million SNEK, and then they'll be using 50% of June's trading fees from the Spectrum DEX in order to provide that as rewards to the top 100 traders. Jumping down to the trading requirements, it states in order to boost SNEK's trading volume on larger token tracker websites like CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko, the competition will exclusively track DEX volume occurring on Spectrum, Minswap, Wing Riders, and Finance. So all the DEXs here on Cardano. They break down some of the points and the boosts that you get when you trade on separate DEXs, with Spectrum providing the biggest boost. Here they break down the SNEK rewards in the distribution. So whoever comes in at number 1 will earn 14% of the total prize pool. And then as you can see here, that curve diminishes all the way down to the last user who comes in at rank number 100. Now we have the dashboard here breaking down the fact that the competition is ongoing. As you can see, it's relatively early in the competition, but we have over $19,000 currently available for the total prize pool. And we can see the top earner right now with over 2 million SNEK rewards, with over 1 million points, earning them 2 million SNEK reward points. Last but not least, we've got some pretty interesting stuff here, taking a look at SNEK compared to some of the bigger meme projects. So we've got the top meme projects by social activity. We've got Pepe from Ethereum. We've got Doge from Doge Network. We've got Shib, Bonk. We've got Floki, Brett from Base. we've got Trump, and then we've got SNEK coming in here. So let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th place here amongst the top 10. So pretty good spot here for a Cardano-based meme with less than $100 million market cap. Now, I think the team just broke $100 million, so they might be at $103 million, but still relatively small when you take a look at the fact that something like Pepe and Doge hit billions when the last market was in full swing. So could we potentially see SNEK hitting $1 billion valuation? I definitely think so. It's just a matter of time, especially with how committed this particular community is. The very last topic I want to jump into as a part of today's story is about Odysee, a Web3 content creation platform, which might be moving over to Cardano. So this was posted by the official Odysee team here, and it states here, "Hello Cardano, hello Arweave. Please help us decide, which blockchain we should be moving to." Now, again, this is a platform that I'm just finding out a little bit more about. They do have quite a following. I think it's over 70,000 on Twitter. And just looking at the platform, I mean, obviously mimics something like YouTube where you've got a lot of featured content here. Scrolling down, they've got tech content, educational content, lifestyle content, gaming content, comedy. I mean, you name it, they've got it. And it looks to be pretty up to date. So again, it's brand new to me. But this would be pretty awesome to have this particular platform onboard into Cardano and leveraging Cardano tech in order to run the infrastructure. Now, I'm not sure exactly where Cardano would be used specifically, if the content is hosted on the blockchain or on projects that are built off of Cardano. All of that has yet to be sort of ironed out. This was just a tweet that came across my radar that I wanted to quickly bring to your guys' attention here, which obviously could provide some value. So I'll be keeping an eye out as to when they make the official decision. But right now it's between Cardano and Arweave. And for you guys that aren't aware, Arweave focuses on decentralized storage. So something very similar to IOG. So that will do it here for today's video. A pretty quick update touching on Cardano, some of the recent papers and videos released by IOG related to scaling and throughput. We've highlighted the unfortunate drama taking place with Yummi Universe, Minswap, their V2 Beta, and some of their monthly stats, as well as proposals with WanChain to improve DeFi. And then we jumped into some updates surrounding SNEK and their trading competition and listing on Binance, closing out here with Odysee and their potential move over to Cardano. As always, if you found this type of content to be helpful, I would appreciate you if you could smash that thumbs up. If it's your first time stopping by and you want more, consider subscribing. And last but not least, if you have any questions, then make sure to leave a comment down below. That said, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.